for the massive armada of landing craft, and long enough for a front so broad the enemy will not be able to contain the weight of our onslaught.
How do we know all this?
Believe it or not, we owe a debt of gratitude to the British public. Following a radio appeal by the BBC in 1942, 10 million postcards and photos of pre-war holidays on the continent were sent in.
Do you hear what they did there then? To
Combined
get
with
intelligence.
aerial reconnaissance, we've been able to build up an intimate and detailed picture of Europe's entire northern coastline. So, gentlemen, here, in a nutshell, is how we are going to do it. Force on an unprecedented scale. A combination of ships, aircraft and men from 13 allied countries. Minesweepers have cleared away for almost 7,000 ships and landing craft to leave our south coast ports, converge here, and then proceed across the channel towards Normandy. Meanwhile, aircraft will begin bombing the enemy's vital defences, as well as railways, bridges, and communications. Our friends in the resistance will be joining in. Early the following day, paratroopers will drop behind enemy lines to protect both ends of the landings from the enemy counter-attack. Then the Navy will begin one of the biggest bombardments in history, ready for the most ambitious amphibious landing ever staged. Finally, in staggered landings across a 50-mile front, 130,000 troops will hit Normandy's beaches with the objective of securing every one, ready to move inland and reach the sail in 90 days.
So that work.
Many more important and more informed voices than yours have asked that very same question. It's certainly no piece of cake. Even once the beaches are secure, France will be very hard won. Tougher than our victories in both North Africa and Italy. But in my opinion, and more importantly in the opinion of High Command, yes, this plan will work. But General Eisenhower knows, as we all do, that this great, just undertaking to free Europe from monstrous tyranny hinges upon one great, unpredictable, imponderable.
And what's that?
Weather.
So you now understand what D-Day's about then, do you? Sir Bartram Ramsay, Sir Arthur Tedler, Eisenhower, Montgomery. We're going to be moving on now. So basically, they got lots of to find out what the place looked like they were going to be attacking. They got everyone to send pictures in and postcards in from the area. So they was able to build up a map of Normandy, the coast of Normandy. Set Europe ablaze. Look, here's. What's that then? I'm assuming that is the that's the SOEs and all that. Special SEO, is it? SEO Special Executive Officer, is it? Or is it Special Officers Executive? I'm one of them ones. Isn't it? Don't forget to stay 2 metres apart, mobilising for war. What's that then? What job will you do? During the Second World War, a man and woman could be sent to do skill jobs. Spin the dice to find out what job you will be set. So you got a 3, is that?
Yeah.
So what job you got?
Women's Auxiliary Air Force.
Women's Auxiliary Air Force is what you got. That's the job you're doing. You're going to give it a spin, Rich, see what job they're going to give you. What's that? 6? Oh, you're going to be a dockyard worker.
Oh.
You're only working in the dockyard.
That's a woman's land arm.
Oh, you're going to be working on the farms. Go on, Rich. What are you getting?
3.
Oh, do that again. Richard's got a 3 again. Richard's going to get to work in the Royal Air Force.
What would you do?
Oh, he's going to be
you.
me.
You do it.
Oh, me.
Me, Richard.
Oh, I'm going to go.
You can spin them both.
Well, that's 2. Is that 2?
So you got Rowan.
I'm going to work in the Navy. We'll join the Royal Navy.
Oh, what? Oh.
Can't see any of that. Job role, sailor. Yay!
Wait, what was...
Aged 8. I'll miss it by a year. The Royal Navy was already very large at the start of the war, but recruited extra men for the war effort. Sailors served on all kinds of ships, from bullet battleships to submarines and motor torpedo boats to landing craft.
That's the one I got from this side.
Yeah, well, you got that one. Role, WAF, single woman, aged 20 to 30, women who served in the Women's or Auxiliary Air Force, with many jobs including packing parachutes, operating barrage balloons, plotting aircraft movements and catering. And Richard worked in the dockyard, so he got to go all ages.
Oh.
Many worked in the dockyard were not conscripted. Their job was important in building and repairing naval and merchant ships. Thousands of men worked in Portsmouth dockyards during the war, so that they worked.
You got to spin that one now as well.
I've got 4, I think.
Yeah, it's 4.
Which means I'm going to work. I can't work in the Women's Land Army. The women who served in the Land Army were known as land girls. They worked on farms to increase the amount of food town in Britain. They drove tractors and operated machinery and worked outdoors in all weathers.
Which
And
suitcase?
what did you go for?
Me?
Oh, Richard got in the Royal Air Force, didn't he?
Yeah.
During the Second World War, the Royal Air Force expanded massively. Aircrew flew aircraft such as fighters, bombers and transport aircraft. Ground crew maintained and repaired aircraft.
Ah, right.
And that was that. Very good.
Wait,
Is that
the tank you were on about?
No, it was outside, Richard, not inside. So I'm assuming that's like the ladies, eh? And reckon. Do you reckon she's a whopper?
I like that one more.
She's a soldier. Yeah, I think she's in the Navy, maybe. She's the Women's Royal Navy Service by the looks of that. And the other lady must be the Army lady then, huh?
Yeah.
So that looks like a kid's suit there, doesn't it? Move on.
Let's remind ourselves why the successful Operation Overlord is critical to the future.
What's this one it's on? Land, sea, air.
This is from 13 countries gathered in Britain before D-Day.
4 years have passed, and our friends across the channel still suffer under the brutality.
Oh, it's all the 13 countries.
USA, England.
Air Force, Air, Land, Sea and Air. So then, there we go. Read what it says, yeah, it's usually what people do. Find out about the different kinds of training. How women's artillery men, I can't read that, women transformed from civilian to fully trained military personnel, spin the wheel and match the colour to find out. Infantry soldier, recruit, basic trait. Yeah. Infantry soldiers marched and fought on foot, carrying their weapons and equipment with them. They were trained to fight with different weapons, including rifles and machine guns. New recruit, basic training, weapons training, amphibious training, exercise, infantry soldier.
Hey Rich, your turn.
Exercise tiger, oh, that's when they died, isn't it?
This
Or
one.
that one.
That one.
Oh, right, okay. And it says, glider pilot. British Army soldiers were trained to fly gliders and carry troops into battle. When they landed, they fought as infantry soldiers.
Now your turn.
And that's what
Your turn.
happened then, huh?
Your turn.
Oh, purple then, alright. Oh look, I get to be a DD tank driver. DD tank crew were trained to operate floating tanks. They learned how to steer their tanks ashore from landing craft and how to fight once they had landed. Well, provided that didn't go wrong, it was well good. Oh, that then. What's that then? Oh, that radio control thing, huh? Look at those binoculars.
Yeah, better than Richard's.
They're the ones they had on the Titanic. Oh, it's a camel crew from this thing, innit? So here we go. Trenches, zigzag holes in ground for troop shelter. Barbed wire, sharp wire on the beach made it difficult. Is the right one, Rich? Choose the one that's going to clear the minefields.
Oh, this one's hard. Oh my God. Well, I'm just gonna guess. And I don't know. Okay.
Don't you guess then, Rich?
Huh?
You've been through them all, like, they're the same picture. Go then.
Oh.
Well, you've been through them all. That's the wrong one, Rich. If you're going to guess, keep...
I was gonna pick that one.
Yeah,
It says if you read the bottom bit.
it does. And there was one of them at the Royal Engineers Museum as well. For that exact same purpose.
Done.
Play a game, she can, and I'll do it then.
Against who? Me?
Me, on my own.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to film it then, Loz. I can do that part. I can do this. Let's go with this. Let's see if I'm good at this. Problem. There's an large ditch in the way. We need to get our tanks across it. Okay then, let's get
It's
out.
just in the answer so we can cheat anyway.
What do I do? Right, come on. That ain't gonna be that one, is it?
Press the arrows.
Oh, it ain't. Yay. No, gotta be that one either. Or that one. Or that one. Gonna be that one now. Yes. I'll use that tank.
That's
Yeah, ditches could stop the Allies from moving inland. The arc laid a bridge that the other tanks could drive over to keep moving forward. Next problem. It's the next one. The problem. You need to clear the way through a minefield. Yeah, that's that one. But they're at the Royal Engineers Museum. Yeah, we've got it. Which is that one there. Yeah? Yeah, so far so good. The German defences on D-Day included minefields. The Sherman Crab used chains spinning on a drum to explode mines and create a safe path through. Next problem. What we're going to do, problem. We need to find a way of crossing an enemy trench.
I wouldn't have this one.
Well, I reckon. No, you didn't. I reckon that could be. Would be either that one, 25 bundles, wooden sticks to use bridge gaps in the ground, which could be that one. But, oh mate, trench.
So he was trying to cheat Richard, doing it again. We could see all the answer of it then.
I'm going to go with that one.
Okay, well.
Yeah, get in there, I was right. Any position on D-Day included trenches, but as those who carries could fill trenches so tanks could cross. Next problem. Do you know what I know?
Yeah.
The problem, I've got to take out that pillbox, that'd be that crocodile one.
I got that one right.
Yeah, that'd be the crocodile because it's flame fire. Come in. That'd be that killer tank there. Oh, I've got them right so far. I'm doing alright. There's on D-Day. Enemy bunkers fire on the troops landed on the beaches. The crocodile tank attacked enemy positions with its flamethrower. So then the bunker and that's fired at you. Problem? We need to get the tank into the beaches right at the start of D-Day without being seen. Can you do it?
Press start.
And that will be that one, isn't it? Yes? That one. So, on D-Day, the Sherman DD tank would swim to the beach thanks to its canvas flotation screen and the duplex drive engine that could power a propeller in the water.
Okay. Next.
It's the last problem.
I don't know if we
Am I going to get done it? We need to drive a vehicle off the beach, but they are getting stuck in soft sand. What we're going to do?
I know, because
That one. That's the one. Oh, you got perfect.
I don't care.
Oh, was that good?
Because it's very soft.
Some of the sand on D-Day beaches was very soft. The bobbin laid a carpet to stop tanks and other vehicles from sinking. It was good, isn't it? So that is a duck. That's a duck. So it's a duck. So when it drives as a car, and then it can switch its things, and then it turns into a boat.
You're not allowed to touch it.
Which you've got, which they've got. You see these in, we see them in London a lot when we're at like near the, what do you call that? It's called. Where is it? It's called Waterloo. It's called the Waterloo. No, it's called St Thomas's. Yeah. And what's that there then, Richard?
That's in. Let's read it. That's a German one.
What is that?
I don't know.
German landmine, Rich. That is.
Oh, well, that's a weird telephone.
Well,
That's a newspaper.
designed to be on land laws. So, what gun's that then? Is that the M1?
I don't know. Oh, yeah, that's the good one.
Was it the other gun? Yeah. What one is that then? That's number 5. The mission rifle was issued by themselves. Oh, it's the German one. The German rifle, which the one shot that we played on COD all the time, yeah?
Oh, so that rubbish one.
That we've used in COD. That sounds rubbish. Is that a film, is that?
No,
It's the wall, is that?
it's a blue screen.
Spin films, isn't it? Oh, and then.
This way.
Yeah. D-Day. The D does not stand for a specific word. It means the day that a military operation begins. D-Day minus 2, D-Day plus 2 means 2 days before or days afterwards. Horizontal delivery day. Clearly not. D-Day, the 6th of June, the sea crossing. So we're here, look. We're here. And that's when they crossed over to there, look. Yeah.
There we are, on the map up there.
Yeah, Portsmouth, yeah. I believe they all came from all over, Bristol, Swansea, Milford. I didn't know that. London, Chatham have been up there, guys. How's Chatham not up there? Strange that. Chatham is involved, surely. What's that, Richard? Yeah, it's that. What gun's that, Rich? No? Browning, mate, it's a Browning. Browning. And I think, is that, see that, I think that's the fake ones that they dropped. Yeah, Rupert's dummy Poetic. When it did, when seen in the air at night, the dummies looked like real parachutists. On the night of the 5th and 6th of June, the Allies dropped 500 rockets in Normandy. They were used to confuse the Germans. Put that out down properly, please. Stop. Yeah. About exactly where the Allied airborne troops. I thought they actually went off. I thought they had like firecrackers in them. That's a. What sort of mine is that? Seen loads of those. Seen quite a few of them down here, Lords. You should know what they are by now. It's a sea mine, isn't it? LCVP. Sea mine. They had magnets on, they go in, and once they go in, boom. D-Day landing, 6th June. Allied troops landed in Normandy. What happened on the beaches? What was it like for those who were there? Galleries, man. So they'd all come off of this thing, Richard. Onto the machine guns, the German machine guns. They did.
If it was fun, but obviously it wasn't.
Well, no, obviously not, Laura. They were going to war to die.
No.
So why you'd even think it would be fun or look fun? That's the MG42. That's the MG42. Guarantee you that. Oh, alright. Germany MG34. No, it is the Germany MG42. At Omaha, right. Well, that's the that ain't the MG42. That's the MG49, 34. The MG42, they ain't got one. They may have. What's that? That's the landing craft, Richard. We've just been in front of that, mate. Ain't ya? Our troops land in North France. Invasion begin next. Allies secure beachheads at 2 points and dig in. No, they didn't dig in. The Daily Mail. Oh look, it's the Daily Mail, probably when they used to tell the truth, maybe a little bit. We've been here, haven't we? Oh, now we're going into Erich. Look at the artillery thing piece machine here, man. Look at that. I think that was the German one. That was. Against that all. The British 25-pounder field gun. Oh, that's the German gun, Rich. Look.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Did ya?
Yeah.
The German submachine gun. The submachine gun in German was designed to kill or injure troops on foot. Hang on, that's not. No, that's reading the wrong one. German MP38 submachine gun. This weapon was designed for short-range combat and could fire 32 bullets in 4 seconds. It was known to the Allied troops as the Schützenpanzer. British soldiers Jim Kremer and used a captured MP38 in Normandy. A wonderful gun, the Schützer. What's that then? Number 23. Oh wow. Oh, look at these guns then. That's got to be, that's a Tommy gun again, is it? Or is that a Browning, is it? What's that one now? What number's that? What number that? What number is that? What number is it?
Is it 8? It's number 8.
How do you know that?
Because it says on the stick.
Oh, so it does, hold on. Number 8. 7-inch aircraft rocket. Typhoon fighters, bombers were aircraft equipped with air-to-ground rockets. Like, oh, that was on the Oh man. Number 13. I said it's Browning. Did I say Browning? I think I did. 30 machine gun and tripod. That was ours. Oh, what's that? Is that the stern gun? Is that the stern gun, is that? Number 15 there.
I've never seen that one before.
Yeah, stern gun, Mark 2. What are you on about? You've not seen that one? Played up with her on COD as well. That's an Enfield, right?
Yeah,
Number
I've seen
10 is an Enfield.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
It may be, oh I don't know, it looks like the American one though. Number 10, we'll find out in a minute, won't we? 10, yeah, it was, I was right, the Enfield. And the 11, I don't know, number 12. The American M1 combined. M1 combined. And that one up there, what one's that one up there? I can't remember what that one is. Number 9.
I've seen that one before. The one on number 9.
The British Bren light machine gun, that's the Bren one up there, look at that, mad. So look at that rocket there, man, that rocket was like put on our Typhoons and all that. What's that?
We have to go now. Yeah.
Liberation and destruction. The Normandy battlefield was the home to thousands of French civilians. Around 20,000 of them were killed in the fighting. Others were forced to flee and become refugees. Civilians were not targeted directly but died as a result of attacks by Allied and German troops. Across Normandy there was moments of great joy as local people welcomed the Allies. There were also moments of great sadness as liberation was accompanied by death and destruction. As the fighting moved on, civilians began to rebuild their homes and their lives. French resistance. Just the struggle tonight in Normandy. D-Day is the beginning. The war ends on the 8th of May 1945. At the last war in Europe came to an end. No, across the continent, people hoped they would start rebuilding their homes and lives. It seemed a lifetime since we had embarked this adventure. 40 men joined. So where's the? Almost there. The embroidery was commissioned by Lord Devolution of Beresford in 1968. It was designed by artists in Lawrence and stitched by the Royal School of Needlework. The final section was completed in 1974. Like other artefacts in this gallery, it is a way of remembering D-Day and the Battle of Normandy. How big is the Overlord embroidery? It is 83 metres long. So it tells the story, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Really long.
So it is,
Timeline thing, isn't it?
huh?
It's like a little timeline. Well,
It
not
is,
little,
yeah.
but-
Oh, it does, look, it goes through like Battle of Britain.
Yeah, but that's not a little one, is it? It's quite big actually.
There's the Battle of Britain. But number 2. After the defeat of France in June 1940, Britain came under repeated German air attack. The German Air Force aimed to destroy the Royal Air Force before forced to prepare the way for invading the UK by sea. So you walk around.
Coming home. Oh.
So the Blitz of 1941. It says, let's say, the British towns and cities were regularly bombed by German aircraft, causing many deaths and much destruction. Every night people went to air raid shelters in case of bombing attacks. Pretty mad, isn't it? Number 4, the world at war. Ships bringing vital supplies to Britain across the Atlantic were under threat from German submarine attacks. This was known as the Battle of the Atlantic. Canadian and later US forces crossed the Atlantic to the UK as part of the Allied forces in preparation for D-Day. Pretty amazing, isn't it? Then we got number 5, the Allied bombing offensive against Germany. Several years before the Allies were ready to launch D-Day, Allied air forces began a campaign of bombing to wear down the German war effort. They did indeed. And the Mustang smashed it, didn't it, to be fair. Combined Operations 1942 to 1943. Lord Mountbatten brought together the 3 armed forces to begin preparing for D-Day. Co-operations between the 3 services would be essential to success. Meanwhile, the troops trained hard for future battles. Occupied Europe and the Germans' defences. As 1944 continued, Field Marshal Erwin Rommel toured the German defences to ensure that they were strong as possible. Meanwhile, the French resistance prepared to assist the Allied troops at the moment of liberation. There he is, Rommel. Come on to check out the Atlantic Wall.
I wouldn't say they've haunted me, but I have, like a lot of people, obviously.
Right, Allied forces gather in southern England. As D-Day approached, huge numbers of soldiers, sailors and airmen, as well as their vehicles, ships, landing craft and aircraft gathered in the southern England. That would be where we are now. Oh, there's the parachute regiment. Getting ready. And ready to jump from their planes on the D-Day and take Pegasus Bridge. And then it's called the Allied Commanders. The British commanders for D-Day were appointed at the very end of 1943. They had to work hard to ensure that their forces were ready to launch D-Day less than 6 months later. Final preparations before departure. With only days to go before D-Day, the Allied forces made their final preparations. Ships were loaded, soldiers checked that they had all their equipment that they needed, and Allied commanders inspected the soldiers, sailors and airmen who would take part in the operation. Number 11, fleet waits to depart. All along the south coast of England, Allied troops have boarded ships and landing craft and wait for the orders to launch D-Day. The landing was postponed by 24 hours from the 5th of June to the 6th of June, which increased the time that they had to wait. And a bit of French for when they get across there. Now, the fleet set sail. The first Allied ship set off for Normandy in the morning of 5th June 1944. Most ships passed through an area to the south of the Isle of Wight known as Piccadilly Circus after the famous busy road junction in London. People who witnessed the scene were amazed at how many ships there were. And it's all Spitfires, they are.
Yeah.
Isn't they?
Yeah.
It's all the ships like R13 crossing the English Channel. The weather during the crossing was quite rough for the troops heading for Normandy. It was an uncomfortable voyage. Many of them were seasick or were thinking about what might happen when they got to France. Would they survive? So many ships, man. So then we're going to move around onto this part of the tapestry now, which is number 14. Minesweepers lead the fleet. At the head of the Allied fleet were minesweepers, which checked for the mines ahead of other ships. Just one mine could sink a large warship, so the minesweepers had an important role. And they had to stop the mines that we see, those big them.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh.
That's a sea mine, yeah.
Did you
So
see
they had
the
an important job.
No,
Yeah, we did.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, 15. The airborne troops. There you go, that's a famous scene as well. The first airborne troops landed in Normandy by parachute and by glider just after midnight. Their aim was to seize key objectives such as roads and bridges. Holding these would make it easier for the troops landing on the beaches to advance inland quickly. Is that Eisenhower having his chat? I don't know. I thought it was. I thought that was Eisenhower. Yeah, it is. It was him, yeah. And then we're over to this part here now.
It's number 16.
Number 16. Meanwhile, in Normandy. In this scene, German troops on the coastal guard duty relaxed. They have not spotted that the British mini-submarines have surfaced and is signalling out to sea. Have they not noticed that? What they like that? Oh, have they not? Clearly not. Where's that going on? Oh, is that there? Maybe. I don't know. Where's the submarines at then?
No.
Oh, are they them there? That green bit there, maybe?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Huh? So they're just drinking it up, having a good time. The airborne troops land. British, American and Canadian airborne troops landed behind German lines early on D-Day to capture key objectives. The most famous of these is the bridge at Bonneville, later known as Pegasus Bridge, after the winged hulls shown on the edge of the British airborne forces. Come on, let's walk around the corner. And we got onto this one. Approaching the beaches, the Allied ships got closer to the coast of France. The troops made last-minute checks. Excuse us. Move, tilt that forward. Back. Right, thank you. It's like killing them as well. Many of these Allied troops are thickly very seasick due to the rough seas.
Yeah, it does.
19. Launching the landing craft. Up to 11 miles off the French coast, the big landing ships anchored and launched smaller landing craft. Once the landing craft were loaded with troops, they headed for the beaches. The fleet opens fire. About an hour before the first troops landed, Allied warships began firing their guns at the German defences. The smaller ships fired at defences near the beach. The larger ships had guns that could fire over longer distances, and they shelled targets further inland. The German, oh my god, that's killing me. I'll come back to that. Leave it there. Right. The German come under fire. 21. Shortly before the first Allied troops landed on each beach, Allied bombers' aircraft attacked the German defences even if they were not killed or injured by this onslaught. Many German troops were stunned by the explosions and noises. Utah and Omaha beaches. American troops landed on 2 beaches at the western end of the landing area, Utah and Omaha. Omaha was the worst one though. Yeah, lots of people died at Omaha. The landing beaches. 23. Allied forces did not land along the whole length of the beaches. This meant that there were often gaps between landing sectors. As the troops advanced, they tried to join up with the nearest landings to the east and west. Gold and Juno beaches. The British troops landed on Gold Beach. Juno Beach was just to the east and was the landing site for the Canadian forces, with some British personnel also landing there. These scenes gives a sense of a huge numbers of troops who were landed on D-Day. Sword Beach and the Funnies. Sword was the 5th beach. British forces landing there on D-Day advanced towards Seine. This scene in the embroidery focuses on some of the specialist weapons and equipment developed by the British to overcome the challenges of D-Day. The Funnies, they're the tanks, man. Which you'd have seen on the further one, us playing a game involving those tanks. The Americans advance inland. After D-Day, one of the first objectives for American forces was the port of Cherbourg, which was strongly defended by the Germans. The Americans gradually advanced north from Utah Beach towards Cherbourg, but the port was not captured until the end of June 1944. The year before it ended then. No, it didn't. War end May the 8th. Medical care. The Allies rapidly established a system for treating the wounded in Normandy. Injured troops were brought back off the battlefield to post providing initial treatment. They then were moved back to hospitals set up in tents where surgery could be carried out. Advanced blood bank. Allied leaders visit Normandy. Left to right, they are King George. Hang on. King George the 5th, or 6th even. General Dwight Eisenhower, Supreme Allied Commander. General Sir Bernard Montgomery, Allied Land Forces Commander. Field Marshal Alan Brooke, Chief of Imperial General Staff or Head of the British Army, and Winston Churchill, British Prime Minister. There you go, people. And the other 2 blokes on there, they're just sailors, obviously. Fighting in the bow cage. A large part of Normandy where much of the fighting took place was described as bow cage countryside. This consisted of many small fields surrounded by thick hedgerows on top of high banks. The vegetation made it hard to see the enemy and forced vehicles to follow very specific routes. The city of Caen, the city of Caen in ruins. Connor was an objective for the British on D-Day, but it took over a month to take it. The Allies bombed the city as they attempted to liberate it. The bombings did little to help Allied forces, but killed many French people and destroyed much of the city.
Much?
Yeah, much. Basically most of the city, Richard.
Looks like all this.
Well, that part, I guess it does, Rich. Maybe they ain't got the whole of the city in the picture now, Rich, probably. The Americans break out. Towards the end of July 1944, the American forces attacked south from the St. Louis area. They advanced rapidly after a brief pause to deal with a major German counterattack. US troops broke out into Brittany and began to encircle the German army in Normandy. See the animals and the cows, man. Dead. The Canadian advances. In the evening of the 7th of August 1944, Canadian forces began moving south to launch their next offensive. This attack had several new aspects. It began at night and the attacking troops were carried in armoured vehicles so they could keep up with the advancing tanks.
It's like breakfast as well.
Huh?
We're nearly done.
We are nearly done, yeah.
Oh.
The false pockets. The Allied armies began to surround the German forces in Normandy in what became known as the false pocket. Many Germans were killed as they tried to escape before the pocket was sealed off completely by Allied troops on the 23rd of August 1944.
What?
He died, yeah, he probably did die. Lots of people died. The battle end of the end of the Battle of Normandy. Allied forces crossed the River Seine on the 9th of August 1944. On the 25th of August, the Allied reached Paris, the French capital. The joy of liberation was mixed with sadness at the death of the destruction that had accompanied it. Ah, well there you go then. And then that's that. We can go in there in a minute. Let's go in there. Let's go and get my bag and all that then. Shall we?
We're going this way.
We are, yeah.
It starts right there.
What's right there?
Oh, it starts right there.
The start's right there, Richard, but I'll tell you what ain't right there.
Yeah, it would probably be.
Tell you what isn't there is the bag and all that. Is that we need to get.
Touch the screen.
We need to now. Hang on, turn around, show us your parachute. You ready to jump out of that plane then, Rich?
What?
Ready to jump out of that plane with your parachute? What's in your parachute? What's in your bag?
Parachute?
Is that?
Yeah.
I thought it was towels, mate, for on the beach later on. I packed your parachute. Yeah, go on, Loz. Stick it on then. Very good. Yours is like for combat, isn't it? Right. Anyway. Southsea Castle, Philo. Southsea Castle. Southsea Castle with a big lighthouse on it. Because why not? Why not have a big? Why not? Why not have a big lighthouse attached to your fortifications to tell everybody where you are? Hey? Yeah. The courtyard's open. I don't think the actual museum itself's open. I don't think you can get up on the forts and all that. I don't. Where is it? Is it opening? Is it this way? Should we go and have a look? Well, I read it. It said it wasn't open, the castle. So that may be the reason there. Don't look very open, Laws. It was right. It's not open. Sorry, we are closed. Some of our services are affected by COVID-19. Yeah, it's not open. That's okay, isn't it? Cheers, COVID. This is the reconstructed well. The original well was built against the inside of the Tudor curtain wall and was probably the castle's first water supply, made of chalk. It used a simple pulley blocked an oak bucket and tenement. Yeah. There you go. Nice bit of chalky water there, eh, kids? Yeah. Southsea Castle, people, which is closed due to COVID. But we can still walk around the fortifications, which we're going to have a look around on the outside. So we are. As you can see, there's the other one across there. Yeah, still would like to know what that island is out there. Isn't it? What's that? No. I've never been to the Isle of Wight. That water looks a bit choppy today, doesn't it? No. So there you go, people. Now, outside, we are now going for lunch. So it is more guns and cannons. Pretty cool, isn't it? Aye. So let's walk on down. I know the kids are doing, just leaving it. Hopefully might lose them. No hope. Put your bags on, Rich. This one of them. Oh, we've got to go. Look, what's that house there? What was that house there? Where's the old thingy? Where do you reckon that came from? Where did that well water come from then? It said about that. And the curtain, where's the curtain? I'm assuming that may be the curtain there, I'm not sure. But you know, they actually planned to defend this place, didn't they? Look, one there, one there, one there. They weren't messing around, were they? You know? So that's the end of that then. That's just going around that, so you know, loving memory of my daughter. I hope she was only a little young. And that's the other side of the other side. So we are heading towards that pier there, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, now let's go. We are at the beach, but we're on the pier at the minute, having our lunch, our picnic. Before we go around, there's our picnic. You're enjoying the picnic, kids? Nice. Lots of fruit, ain't we? Good sandwiches, a lot of healthy food, ain't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice, isn't it? What are you drinking there? You drinking vodka there, Laws? Drinking vodka? Ah. Raspberry flavoured spring water. No vodka then. No vodka, Richard.
Not raspberry.
Oh right, strawberry. What are you, Richard? Drinking strawberry gin? Strawberry gin? Oh, you're drinking water that makes you choke.
No. That's very interesting. What's
Isn't
that
it?
taste like?
Choke.
I've had enough of this.
So last week we was in the blazing hot heat at outlets, weren't we? This week we're in the south of England, didn't we?
Yep.
We've travelled from the southeast of England to go to the south of England, haven't we?
Yeah, we have to take
4
4 trains.
trains.
4 trains because we had to swap delivery at the end.
Oh yeah, that's because they cancelled it. Don't know why. Yeah. All we need now is we won't be on the way home. We'll just be getting the Victoria train on the way home. Victoria train all the way back to London, then on our Victoria train to the way we go home. Oh.
That's plain in it, that's not that mayonnaise, does it?
Nah, just cheese and chicken rich. Yeah. Is it plain? No, it's plain. Fun. Very nice.